I'm in Port Angeles, Washington today, and I'm gonna do a road ride up Hurricane Ridge there. And this is the view of the water from the port. But today I'm gonna go see if I can get a nicer view up off the ridge there. I climbed a vertical mile on my bike up Hurricane Ridge. I have 3 stories to share about this ride. The first story is that the climb is super hard. It is 32 kilometers to the top from the town of Port Angeles, and it has 1,600 meters of elevation gain, or 1 vertical mile. I told my girlfriend to meet me at the top with the car in about 3 hours, and I underestimated how hard the climb was, so I was hammering for the first half to try to make sure she wasn't waiting. Second, it is a stunning route and I highly recommend it. The views are beautiful on the up, at the top, and on the descent. And the third story is the chalet at the top of the mountain tragically burnt down earlier this year. It is said that the park was still open online, but I was in for a surprise when I got to the national park's entrance gate. More on that later. I started pretty hot out of the gate on the climb, knowing I had to get to the top at the same time as my girlfriend, who would arrive by car, we'd do a hike, and then we would drive down together. Just trying to keep it under 45. Here I am with lots of energy in the tank, but starting to feel that steady 7% grade. However, at this point, I was still looking pretty good for time. Hurricane Ridge is again located just 32 kilometers inland of Port Angeles. Port Angeles is in Washington state on the north coast of the Olympic Peninsula. You can access Port Angeles by car from the Seattle area or by various ferries, including one from Victoria, BC. Up until this point here, there weren't any really scenic views, just tall trees on each side, which is nothing special for someone from BC like myself. Here's where story number 3 comes into play. I arrived at the Heart of the Hills entrance station to Olympic National Park, which allows entrance to get to the top of Hurricane Ridge. Olympic National Park is a massive park on the peninsula, and Hurricane Ridge is just one of the sub-park areas. We also checked out some of the other areas of the park on this trip, and they're quite scenic and incredibly well maintained. When doing research on this route, I learned that the Visitor Center Lodge at the top of Hurricane Ridge burned down in May of this year, 2023, and the road was entirely closed until August. Fortunately, we were there in August, but what I didn't realize is the park is now capped for visitors by car until the Visitor Lodge is rebuilt. There isn't enough restroom capacity up there anymore, which is pretty crappy. Hi there.
Hi there, you're good to come in. It's going to be 15 unless you already have a pass.
No. Okay. Cool. My girlfriend's gonna drive up in like an hour. Is that gonna be an issue?
Yeah.
Take the bus back, they have a wrap.
Yeah. You'll have to ride down, or you'll have to meet down here.
Okay. That's fine.
There's no vehicles coming in after.
Okay.
This is your last chance for cell service. There's a picnic table around the corner.
Okay.
If you want to call her and tell her the details, that you're going to get good reception right outside the building there.
Thank you. So after 430 vehicles get through each day, only cyclists can access it, or you can take a bus. In the summer, this park is insanely busy, so it filled up around 9:30 a.m. I had to call my girlfriend and let her know that she wasn't going to be able to drive up anymore. We decided that I should finish the climb and we would meet back in town. Note that there is no cell service after the gate, so plan accordingly. Okay, let's get a couple of pedal strokes in and then I'll check back in. Now this is the Morse Creek overlook, which is around halfway through the climb. The view is super nice, but I knew it would be even better up top. At this point, I wasn't worried about meeting my girlfriend at the top anymore, but I was now an hour and a half in with only 1 bar and 1 gel left, and I still had to descend back into town too, which I did not initially plan for. Okay, enough chit chat. There was another 800 meters of elevation left to get to the top here. I think this pace is going to be just fine for me at this point. Okay, I'm basically right at the speed limit.
This is good.
So right when I topped out, I noticed immediately that the parking lot was half empty. Not complaining there. I immediately rode up to the construction site that is underway where the visitor center lodge remains stand. There's a plan to rebuild this structure, so it will be cool to come back one day and see what it looks like.
So I actually made it to the top, and right behind me is where the visitor center used to stand, but obviously now it's burnt down. And the view is quite remarkable. It's 360 degrees. There's some little hiking trails that you can take, which I don't have time to do, but I think you would get a much better view from the top of those hiking trails. I'm gonna see what kind of shots I can get while I'm descending, so stay tuned for that.
Now, this is where I can say that the hard work to pedal a mile up the mountain was worth it, because the views are absolutely stunning. There are 360-degree views, and I think you could spend a whole day up here just hiking around. Okay, I'm no David Attenborough, but I'm pretty sure that this is a deer handling its business. A pretty nice backdrop for it, if you ask me. As they say, sometimes nature calls.
Hurricane Ridge or Beautiful Ridge?
Since I had to get back into Port Angeles to meet back up with my girlfriend, who, remember, got sewered by the car capacity issue, I didn't have much time to hang around. I was also all out of food at this point. I should have packed a bit more food, but I really didn't plan to do this descent. The descent was actually really easy going. I had only about 5 or 6 cars pass me the whole way down out of the park. The views are great coming down, but it is hard to really look at them when you're descending on a bike, of course. Here I am coming back into town. Thank you for following along on these stories. Everything ended up working out just fine. Please like and subscribe if you want to help support this channel. Alright, I'm out.